All right. All glories to Mother Natasha, all glories to the religion of love, all glories to the assembled devotees. O Lord God, please help us live out these teachings and be an example in the world. Jai. All right. So today we're going to do something different. As we've just finished the peace book, today we're going to do the peace process, which is a worksheet that I've alluded to in the previous 5 classes that coalesces all the knowledge of the mind and where all our thoughts and feelings come from, how to control them, how to change them, into one nice, succinct worksheet that we're going to do together. This is something Mother Natasha taught us, and it really, really, really helped in my life, and I still use it on a day-to-day basis. And before that, we're going to do a special meditation. So every now and then, when Mother Natasha would give a public program, she would lead with this meditation to set the mood and get everyone the right mindset. So here we go. All right. Everybody close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Full inhale. Deep, long exhale. And keep that breathing going the whole time. Now, imagine you're looking at yourself and all of your clothes are peeling off of your body and being placed down on the floor in front of you. And breathe. Now, imagine all of your skin and hair coming off of you and being put down on the floor in front of you. And breathe. Now all of your muscles and fat, lean and soft tissue coming off of you, being put down on the floor in front of you. And breathe. Now all of your organs and blood vessels, all of that coming off and put down on the floor in front of you. Breathe. Now all of your bones, all of them coming off of you and put down on the floor in front of you. Breathe. And now your mind, with all its thoughts and all its memories, remove that and put that on the floor in front of you. Breathe. Now with what is left, the eternal, essential you. Cry out the name of God, any name of God, for all the names of God are good. Cry out His holy name with all your longing, with all your being. Cry out the holy name. Now, slowly put all those things back. First, your mind, with all its thoughts and memories, put that back. Now all the bones, put into their proper order. Put all those back. All of your internal organs, blood vessels, put all of those back. All the muscles and fats, tissues, put all of those back into their place. All of your skin, your hair, return all of that. And lastly, all your clothes back onto your body. And when ready, open your eyes. The Religion of Love Peace Process. We start with an affirmation. I create my life by the way I think. As I learn to change my thinking, I will change my life. Pain is the warning sign that I am not thinking correctly, and so not in the spiritual state of love. Anytime we're not feeling good, it could be any feeling, anger, hate, envy, sorrow, grief, anxiety, any feeling. If we're not feeling an ecstatic state of love, then we're in the mind. And usually, not usually, but often we suffer greatly by the thoughts and feelings that come from our minds. And as a meditation, as well as the classes we've had, have taught us, we are not our minds. The mind is a tool, just as this body is. The mind is one of the senses of the body, the hub of all the senses. So we start with this affirmation. I create my life by the way I think, and as I learn to change my thinking, I will change my life. Pain is the warning sign that I am not thinking correctly and so not in the spiritual state of love. Remember, pain is the warning sign. If we're not feeling good, it means we got to put our attention there. So we first start off with number 1. I seem to be upset because... Now, here, you put the initials of whatever has brought up something that has upset you. Does anyone here have an example they'd like to share? Is there something recently that might have upset you we can use as an example? Meet or my wife? Or I could just make one up. Okay, let's just make it up.
Oh,
Oh, you got one?
I was gonna say the government.
The government. Okay, you can put a TG right here. The government. So I'm seen to be upset because the government has, and meet. Well, now you gave us a government. Give us something that we can work with. What has the government done that has made you upset?
It seems they are very greedy and trying to take more from the people instead of helping them.
Okay, so let's say they pass some law that's making the rich richer and the poor poorer, and it's really unjust and messed up. Okay, I think I think we can all agree that governments drive everybody crazy all around the world. Okay, and boy, if you see people get riled up with politics, this really is true. My goodness. Okay, so I seem to be upset because TG, the government, has done some shady dealings once again. Breathe. We actually lock into our body on a cellular level some of these emotions. I'll give you an example. When somebody scares you, like they hide behind the wall and they jump out, wah, and you go, right? You just hold your breath and you lock in all that fear almost. So we don't want to hold these things on anymore. Hold on to them. We want to let them go. So throughout the entire process, just as we did in the meditation, we want to breathe as much as we possibly can. Breathe. And this brings up my feelings of meat. What is the feeling you have thinking about what the government doing?
I don't know the word, but you feel cheated in a sense.
Okay. You feel cheated and you
You feel wronged.
you feel wronged. Okay. You feel angry too?
Uh, Depends. I mean, you could say it's a form of anger. Yeah, it's not like a anger towards a person. It's just, you know,
Sure. Okay. I do know the feeling of being wronged. And it does like a betrayal of trust almost, especially when you vote for somebody and they get elected, and what do? They immediately renege on all their promises and do the exact opposite. Well, you feel betrayed.
I think the best word right now might be worry. More worried.
Okay. Okay, so in this part right here, just write down everything you're feeling. Feeling worried, feeling upset, feeling wronged, betrayed, feeling angry, all everything you're feeling. Just feel it all out. And that's where we get to number 2. Now number 3, feel the feelings without judgment of whether they are good or bad. And breathe. Now, if you can, if you can lie down somewhere, take a time out to do this peace process, really put all of your focus and attention on it. Lying down is really nice if you can. And just feel where these feelings are. Don't put a label on them, good or bad. Just feel them. Be the observer. Just observe, where are they in the body? What color are they? What shape are they? Are they dull? Are they sharp? Is it dark? Is it hot? Is it in your throat? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your head? Like where? Really just observe. Feel the feelings. Feel them. Don't do as the world does and try to ignore your feelings. Don't try and bottle it up or sweep it under the carpet or try and just get rid of it artificially, but really you're just taking your attention off of it momentarily. No, this time we're really going to feel it. Just feel the feelings. And again, it's not a good feeling, it's not a bad feeling, they're just feelings. Just feel them. And breathe. Number 4, my thought that causes this feeling is, Meet, have any thought you'd like to share? What brought up all these feelings? What are you thinking about what number one did?
I was thinking about the massive amount of money going towards doing things that cheat the people, like lobbying.
Gotcha. Okay, so my thought that causes this feeling is that they are cheating the people out of their hard-earned money. It's awful. So, again, even though it doesn't say breathe at the end, just breathe. Always breathe. Number 5. I want to punish by. Now, whenever we get into an emotional or upset state, we're impelled to react out of those emotions. And usually those reactions is a form of punishment. And this can take many forms. From wanting to ignore somebody as my punishment, or give them a mean look, or say mean things, or even act out in violence. These negative emotions impel us to act quite negatively. So meet for yourself, number 5, how would you want to punish number 1 for how they made you feel?
To avoid the people, or send a nasty email. There's not really a direct way to punish, in this case.
Well, maybe talking shiza against them, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, a lot of people on the radio sure doing that. Maybe I want to punish by slandering them, or by saying not so nice things about them. Breathe. Now, I made a mistake when I said, how do you want to punish by how they made you feel? Oh, no, they didn't make us. See, we're getting to that. It's even our wording. It's tough to change these idioms. But with practice. So, okay, now we understood what initially triggered the feeling, what the feelings were. We felt those feelings out as much as we possibly could. And we found the thought that brought up the feeling. Remember, all of our feelings come from our thoughts. They don't just come from the ether. They don't just get injected into us. They come from our own thoughts. So my thought that caused this feeling is da-da-da-da-da. And then my need to punish by. I want to punish by. So we're analyzing what's going on inside the mind. This is what we're doing. We are taking a look inside of our mind, step by step, retracing the steps like a detective. You just came to the scene of the crime. The crime is all this upset you have. Okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Remember, we are the observer of the mind. Number 6, another affirmation. Blame and punishment do me no good. I now choose to be responsible for my own thoughts and feelings. And this, if you think about it, when did blame and punishment ever do any good for us? When did slandering somebody do any good for us? We might think we feel good, like we vented. We might think we got a little justice, but did it really do any good for us? Really? No. So now we're choosing to be responsible for our own thoughts and feelings. Now, we're not responsible what other people do or what other people say, but we are responsible, and we're choosing to take responsibility for how we are thinking, and thus how we are feeling. Nobody controls how you think. Nobody controls how you feel. They may be quite manipulative, sure, but really that's all in our own mind. And we have the power to change that. Breathe. Number 7. I want to feel better. This is our desire. We want to feel good. We don't want to feel these things anymore. We want to be free of all the pain, suffering of the mind. So I let go of my feelings of, this is number 2, all those feelings, write them down again. Breathe. Trying to let these things go. And I let go of my thought, number 4, write it out again. Breathe. And my need to punish by, number 5, write it out again, breathe. Letting all this stuff go. And side comment, remember, forgiveness isn't something you do for others. It's something you do for your own self. You cut the ties of anger and hate and fear that you hold on to for someone else. Nothing you do for them. It's something you do for yourself. Number 8, I choose to restore love to my mind. Now, this is the hard part. Step number 8 is usually the hardest. Now, think of a loving thought about whatever brought it up, number 1, and a loving thought about me, about yourself. And it has to be a true thought. It has to be a true thought. Otherwise, the mind won't accept it. You can't just make something up. So now, really think hard and find an honest, true, loving thought about whatever brought up the feeling. Can you think of a loving thought about TG meat?
Yeah.
Care to share?
I will say there's, even though many people are unjust, we see that some are legitimately trying to defend us, or some people do care. Not everyone cares, and they still have welfare programs and things that help people.
There you go. So you found a loving thought. Okay, they are in some capacity. They are helping. They are doing some good. It's not all bad. That's one good loving thought. Oh, helping some people out. That's nice. And looking after our rights. Very good. And how about yourself? Do you have a loving thought about yourself, Meet?
Yeah, I think I'm usually kind to others, and I try to show them that I also will care for them. Try not to make people feel uncomfortable around me.
Very good. You know that you're a kind and considerate person, and you look out for others. Wonderful. So now breathe. Remember, we're trying to change our consciousness. Think in a ways conducive to spiritual realization, thinking in ways of love, not in our upset. Number 9. I am not upset by, and you can put whatever happened, by the law that got changed, or by the event that took place, or by what he or she said or did, but by a thought in me. If I am in pain, I'm in error. Now again, we're not talking about physical pain, like if someone, punched you in the face or threw a rock at you. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the emotional, the psychological, mental pain that is far more scarring. Many will agree. So I'm not upset by whatever took place, but by a thought in me. If I am in pain, I'm in error. Number 10. I now choose to take control. My feelings come from my thoughts. Every thought in my mind is changeable. I now choose to think with love instead of my upset. Breathe. And we got to really believe this. And this is the truth. Every thought in our mind is changeable. We can change the way we think. Number 11. And this is the key to the whole thing. Without this, none of this works. I pray to God, and put any name of God here as you wish. Any name of God from the revealed scriptures. To heal me. Restore me to love. Help me to keep love present. Help me to let go of my painful thoughts. Breathe. Now this number 11, just like number 3, where we feel the feelings, you can take your time with number 3, really feel it. And with number 11, you can take your time with this one. Take as much time as you need to chant, pray the names of God. And really mean it, really sincerely pray God carry you through this, because the illusory energy of this material world is so powerful. These minds are so powerful. Even Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita says to Lord Krishna, to control the wind would be more easy than to take control of my own mind. We really need help. We really need help. And there's nothing wrong with leaning on somebody stronger than us when we really need that support. And who better to lean on? Who better to surrender unto than God, who is the true beloved of all? So we pray to God and call out his holy names. And this is what makes it key. And if you're by yourself, don't just keep it internal. Chant that out loud. That transcendental sound vibration. Call yourself into the very presence of God. Chant his holy names. And really pray that he can restore you to love and help you to keep love present. You don't forget God. Don't forget love at any moment. And help you to let go of all these painful thoughts. I like to think of it, everything up to this point from 1 through 10 is like writing a bunch of code for the computer. But in order to execute that code, you're going to need a sysadmin. You need to put in your administrative password, for example, to execute it, right? And let's say in this case, you need the administration password from your boss. How about the boss of the entire universe? who's the, of course, God, creator of everything, and also the controller of the material energy and the illusory fields that blind us to the truth, real spiritual reality. So we need God to execute the function, to make all of this actually work. Without God, nothing works. And trying to be happy without God doesn't lead to success. We're fish out of water. So take your time with number 11. Chant, 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 much as you need. And number 12, check in with yourself. Be real and say, I now feel, and whatever you feel. Like you could say, be honest, like I feel better now, or I'm still kind of upset, or or maybe even no change at all. But be honest and really check, how do you feel right now? What are the emotions that are still lingering there? What are you really feeling? And breathe. And I can see that, and then put any realization or understanding or insight you gained. So maybe you can say, I now feel a little better, and I can see that, yeah, it ain't the things outside me that are causing me to feel this. It's coming from my own thoughts. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not trying to lead you into this is what you're supposed to write, but as an example, something I write for myself. And then finally, number 13, I thank you, and then do the initials. I thank you, TG, for, and this could be anything you wish to say, but now in a form of gratitude, you're going to share, a positive thing. Like for me, for example, I thank you, for revealing to me the anger that was hidden inside of me, or for showing me all these upsetting feelings that were hidden underneath the surface, that were in my mind, or for helping me catch these negative ways of thinking. So this is very, very important that we cap this off and really think about what we're thankful for and all of this, and what we understood or learned, and then breathe. And that's the peace process. Now, this little worksheet, I kid you not, I would print out tons of these little worksheets. I'd fold them up, put them in my book bag. I put them in my pocket. I'd have them handy. And any time I would get upset, I would bust one out and I would take my time and actually do the whole process as we just went over together. Mother Tasha told us disciples that any time you're upset, any time, big or small, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be a small thing. It doesn't have to be, those big heartaches, the big traumas, the huge upset. It can be a little thing like, a neighbor annoying you, or this is bothering you, or anything. Any time you're not feeling that state of love, if you can, stop what you're doing and do this peace process. Honestly, what could be more important? What could be more important than spiritual realization, than purifying your existence and coming again to love? And I know, and we have to go to work, we have to go to class, we have things to do, I get it. And if you're in a busy situation and you can't stop what you're doing right then and right there, then take a note of it. And as soon as you are free, then take out that peace process and then work on it. Now, of course, strike when the iron is hot. That's always best. When you're really feeling it in that moment, that's when it's best. When you're upset in that moment, to work on it. But as we learned in the peace book, that even if we just think about what happened earlier, those emotions will come back. And then you feel it out. And Mother Natasha, she instructed us to do these a lot, like 10 a day, hundreds of them. I filled this thing out hundreds of times, filling them out, in so many places, on trains, sitting down at a bus stop, sitting on a curb. I've done it all over the place. I've worked on these peace processes. When I don't have paper, I would do it in my mind. But if you have paper, it's really nice to have paper to actually write it out. So if you can print it, it's really beneficial. And I've seen some people, they save them. They save their peace processes from the past, especially for things that come up very often. Now, a lot of these upsets, a lot of these negative ways of thinking are very, very strong. And we are habituated to think in those ways. And it might not take one peace process, one go through to make it go away for good. We may have to actually do this many, many, many times. And if that's the case, then that's the case. If you got to do it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, a dozen times for the same issue, well, it might be a really big issue that you really need to spend that much time on it. Especially things that we've been holding on to for years. Even deep-seated traumas from our childhood even. We'll have to really peel away at it like an onion, layer by layer by layer. And I've experienced this myself, that the more I would do the peace process, it was like a little chunk of it was removed. Like some of that negativity, some of that habituated thinking, some of that pain and anger that was just right under the surface, hidden from my view, little by little purifying away. So this wonderful worksheet can be an excellent tool if you use it. And like I said, it seems kind of odd and corny the way this is all done, like a little worksheet, but it actually works. It really does. And I can say from experience that it works. And what it is doing is retraining how we use our mind and catching ourselves when we're feeling any form of upset as soon as we can, more and more as we train ourselves to be the observer of our mind. We can catch ourselves and check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. Check ourselves before we react. Remember, number 5, I want to punish by. That's the reactions that we get. We're kind of pulled into by how we're feeling. And when we act out of those thoughts, reactions come back, and they're usually not going to be very pleasant reactions. In fact, Don't we often do very regrettable things when we're not feeling good, right? If we're really angry, or if we're really upset, if we're really depressed, we can make many grievous blunders and mistakes that we very much regret. Like, oh boy. So the more we train ourselves to catch ourselves, how we're feeling, how we're thinking, then the more we'll be able to act in the way we want to act, in a manner beneficial towards what our real goals are. To act, not react. To act is a conscious thing. To react is very unconscious. That's when we're just reacting to all these emotions that we're experiencing. We don't want to be so reactive anymore. We want to act consciously. We want to be conscious of what we're thinking, conscious of what we're doing, conscious of what we're feeling, all of it. We want to be conscious. And when we're able to successfully purify our mind of all things not of love, now the chanting the names of God, hearing the word of God, remembering God, these spiritual practices of devotional service, they all cleanse and purify our mind of everything not of love. They do. This peace process, however, is an extra tool that we can use, especially if we're suffering in this moment right now. What can I do right now? Because chanting can take a long time for all this stuff to purify away. I'm suffering right now, and because there's so much great suffering in the world, in the mind, Mother Atasha, out of great compassion, put all this together. And this is all knowledge that's all scriptural based, all knowledge of the mind, how it works. But out of great love and compassion, she put this tool because she saw many people suffering from depression, people suffering from terrible anger issues, post-traumatic stress, that they need some relief right now. And you say, before we just keep chanting, but that could take years before that chanting can have the effect or purify the mind. So using this tool, in a sense, could aid one's spiritual realization much faster, come to control their mind much quicker in this lifetime. And it's all about, again, being conscious of how you think. And back to the affirmation in the beginning, I create my life by the way I think. Whatever you think, you attract into your life. Our thoughts are not secret things. They are messages sent out into the universe, and the universe will give back to you what you called into your life. Now, if you think, for example, let's say, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. Let's say everyone in your family is sick and you don't want to get sick from that. I don't want to get sick. Well, the universe is going to hear, I don't want and sick. So let me give you some of that. Let me give you some sick. Let me give you some want. Let me give you some. It's going to give you what you ask for. Even if you're thinking in the negative aspect, like I don't want that thing. No, I don't want, but still you're thinking on it. Attachment and aversion are the same thing. They're both attachment. And whatever you think on, you're going to call into your life more. So we want to actively choose in any given moment what is most beneficial for my spiritual life. What is best to help me come closer to love of God? How can I be of best service? This is how a devotee of God aims to think. And this tool, this peace process, is a wonderful, wonderful tool that if utilized on a daily basis, now mind you, this isn't something you just try one time and then, oh, it was okay, whatever, and then you don't use it again. This tool works if you use it regularly, just like chanting. And if you really want to take control of your thoughts and your mind and how you feel, and to free yourself of every negative feeling and thought, well, here is your tool. This is literally brain surgery or mind surgery. But instead of someone else doing it for you, like a psychologist or a therapist, you put the scalpel, you put the knowledge, the tools into your own hands, and you heal your own self by the grace of God. Now, again, we do all this work, and then of course we depend and pray to God to make it all stick and work. So, as it says in the scriptures, God helps those who help themselves. So we first have to help ourselves and do the work, do the whole process, and to make it actually stick and have permanent result, we completely depend on the mercy of God and chant His holy name to make it all happen. So, I know we had some latecomers join who missed the beginning, and I know I went a little over time. I know those who are coming late might have some questions, but Meet, or my wife, who hearing now, especially you, Meet, is the first time hearing it. Do you have any questions on the whole peace process?
No, I think it's a lot more than I expected, actually. It's very cool.
Right on. It's simple, but very, very effective. And you can see it's all clear, very simple words, obviously. Nothing too fancy or poetic. Just very, very practical. And it's very clear, because if it's not clear, then we won't be able to do it. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool. So anyone who's late coming, who missed the beginnings, does anybody have any questions? We still have some time.
After them.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, but waiting others.
Well, since you got here early, what is your question, my love?
For number 8,
Uh-huh.
if the initial is myself, the whole process is about myself, not somebody else. For number 8, said that a loving thought about initial, for example, and me. I just should just write about myself.
Oh, so you're saying, what if number 1, I seem to be upset because of something that you did?
Yeah, for example, being hard on myself, and for example, blaming myself, just being hard on myself.
Sure. Well, then, if you're being hard on yourself, and you are the reason you're upset, and you put your own initials here, then I guess, yes, number 8, you can just say loving thought about you, since it's just you. You can think of 2 loving thoughts about yourself. How about that?
Okay.
There you go. Do extra work. Anyone else have any question? All right. Well, to our friends who showed up a little late, I wish you guys caught what we started with. It was pretty cool. So I'm going to post this now live onto YouTube as soon as it uploads, and y'all watch it. And for everybody watching this video after the fact on YouTube, I'm going to post a link in the comments section on where you can download this document yourself, so on a Google Drive link. And by all means, it's a printable PDF. It should fit on any 8.5 by 11 page, and print these out as much as you possibly need. And like I said, I've printed out hundreds of these little things and just fold them, put them somewhere, and I've worked on them and saved them. So any last questions or comments before we close the class? Special Peace Process class. All right, then. All glories to Mother Atasha. All glories to the religion of love. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai.